Imagine a martial art created not to be showcased in tournaments, but to kill fast, without leaving witnesses. A discipline forged in dark basements, among rusty chains, hidden knives, and blood pacts, where elegance had no place, only brutal effectiveness. Today, you'll discover the fighting style born in the heart of the Chinese Mafia, an art designed to survive in prisons, command respect in the streets, and eliminate enemies without raising suspicion. Martial might, where warriors live forever. They called it the Traitor's Fist, because those who used it rarely left anyone alive. It wasn't part of any official school, nor was it taught in polished dojos. It was passed on in whispers, from master to disciple, from criminal to hitman, a forbidden technique, lethal, silent, and its name, for many, remains a mystery. But today, you're going to discover it, because this is the hidden story of Bak Mei, the style the Chinese Mafia turned into its most feared weapon. They say Bak Mei was born from betrayal, that its founder was a monk who broke his vows and sold his soul to power. His name was Bak Mei, which means white eyebrows, a Shaolin master who, according to legend, betrayed his temple and offered his knowledge to the enemies of southern China. Why? Revenge, or maybe ambition. No one knows for sure, but what we do know is that his style changed the rules of combat forever. Bak Mei isn't a flashy art. It's short, aggressive, aiming to end a fight in seconds, strikes to the throat, fingers targeting the eyes, elbows to the heart, and a technique known as the poison fist, designed to fracture internal organs without breaking the skin. Lethal, unpredictable, and perfect for silencing a target without leaving evidence. In the 19th century, as Chinese mafias, known as the Triads, spread across Asia and the world, Bak Mei found a new purpose. It was no longer just a traitor's art. It became the official style of many contract killers. In the streets of Hong Kong, Shanghai, or Macau, if someone was executed at night with no visible wounds on the body, the police knew it was a message, a settling of scores, a Triad signature kill, and in most cases, Bak Mei was behind it. But why choose such a specific art? Because Bak Mei was made for confined spaces. It doesn't rely on big movements. Every technique starts from a static stance, feet rooted to the ground, perfect for fighting in alleys, between cars, inside a cell, or even an elevator. Its short, rapid strikes gave it an edge in chaotic environments, and its philosophy was clear. Strike first, strike hard, and make sure they don't get up. In the prisons of Guangzhou, rumors spread that if an inmate moved their arms like an open tiger's claw, it was best not to look. It meant they knew Bak Mei and had used it before. Guards didn't mess with them because a Bak Mei fighter didn't need weapons. His body was a weapon. But Bak Mei wasn't the only style embraced by the Mafia. In northern China, another dark art was rising from brothels, taverns, and opium dens. A style even more confusing, more unpredictable, Quan, also known as Drunken style. At first glance, it looked like a joke, an erratic dance, strikes thrown as if the practitioner was about to fall over. But that was the trick. Every move was a trap, a lie, a deception. Quan became the perfect style for spies, saboteurs, and infiltrators because it could be mistaken for drunkenness, but conceal a deadly blow. In underground gambling houses, some men pretended to be drunk just to provoke a fight, and when the opponent lowered their guard, the strike came, and the fight ended before it began. Quan wasn't just a Jackie Chan choreography. It was a war art disguised as comedy, and in the hands of the Mafia, it was a hidden weapon, a technique to strike and vanish. Let's go back to Bak Mei. The Mafia embraced it for its raw philosophy. Honor doesn't win fights, precision does. While other schools taught respect and control, Bak Mei was about smashing, breaking, crushing. The training was extreme. Some disciples were forced to strike trees with their fingers until the bark split. Others had to withstand blows to the chest to harden their internal organs, and if you couldn't endure it, you were out. Because Bak Mei wasn't for everyone. It was for survivors and for killers. In poor neighborhoods, kids with no future were recruited by the clans. If they showed discipline and fearlessness, they were taught Bak Mei. They were shaped, and by age 18, they were human weapons. In the 1970s, as Chinese mafias expanded to the U.S., Bak Mei arrived in San Francisco, New York, and Vancouver. And there, among triads, tongs, and local gangs, the style proved its power. A punch to the armpit, a hand chop to the base of the skull, an invisible rib fracture, and a body collapsing as if from cardiac arrest. Death without a trace. Exactly what crime lords needed. But it wasn't all blood, because amid the chaos, some Bak Mei practitioners sought redemption. Masters who had left the criminal world began teaching the art as self-defense. They stripped it of its deathly mantle and brought it to academies. Today, you can find Bak Mei schools in Europe, America, and Asia, but the true secrets remain hidden, because what's taught to the public is just a fraction. The real Bak Mei still lives in the shadows and is only passed down to those who have proven they can and must wield it. And what happened to the white-browed master? Some say he was betrayed by his own disciples. Others, that he was forgiven by the Shaolin monks before he died. But there's a more chilling tale, a legend that claims Bak Mei never died. He vanished, and that his deadliest technique was never written down, only told. From master to killer, from killer to ghost. Today, in the alleys of Hong Kong or the night markets of Thailand, if you see an old man with squinted eyes and fingers marked by calisthenics, don't underestimate him. He might be a Bak Mei practitioner, and if he looks at you, you may already be marked. This story blends real facts with martial legends that have survived through oral tradition. While some parts are based on historical records, others belong to the collective imagination of Kung Fu culture. Its aim is not to instruct, but to reveal the darkest and least known side of martial arts. The story of Bak Mei and Quan is the story of how combat adapted to crime, how fighting stopped being noble and became necessary, because when rules disappear, only survival remains, and the style that adapts best is the one that wins. Today, those styles still live, but their purpose has changed. They're no longer made to kill, but to remember. To remember that martial art can be beautiful, yes, but it can also be dark. And in its darkness, it reveals its true nature. Combat is not a sport, it's a response. And in the shadows of history, Bak Mei was the most brutal of all. Don't miss the next video. Click now.